Greetings, everyone, and welcome. It is January the 11th, and huge update for you tonight, but a different type. Tonight, I'm asking for your opinion. I'm asking for your thoughts. I'm going to share with you some things that came out of an interview in Italy, and most likely, you guys have not been able to see this. I am referring to some statements directly from President Zelensky, and tonight we're going to do it like in an interview style, and you will be able to decide for yourself. What is your opinion? Is this man really true? Is he a good wartime leader? Is he doing the right thing on the international stage? Of course, for me and all of our team as we support Ukraine, we stand with President Zelensky and believe he is doing an amazing job at this wartime in Ukraine, which is brutal. Not just a war against Russia, but also a war against propaganda, a war against changing mental structures of Ukraine and not doing things the way we used to do it and modifying and moving to the West and European standards and NATO standards. Are you kidding me? Vladimir Zelensky has done an amazing job, and we're going to jump right to that. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you the opposite and want your opinion on that as well. Now, as far as the news front coming in tonight from Ukraine, we do have reports that Karakova has fully fallen. Deep State has colored it in, but the Ukrainian general staff and military has yet to confirm. Still saying there are some units still standing in the thermal plant region, so we wait on that. Additionally, tonight, I can tell you it's getting tougher south of Pokrovsk, and we are getting some news that Ukraine has struck another oil refinery deep inside Russia, but we have conflicting reports on that, and we'll wait for the facts. But guys, tonight, buckle your seatbelts. Tonight, you're going to hear directly from President Zelensky. And you know what? What is your opinion? You decide. Let's jump in. I'm going to treat this video as if I am the interviewer. I'm going to ask a few questions, and you will see the answers directly. So, question number one for you tonight, President Zelensky, is can the world give in to Putin? And if so, or if not, will Putin go further?
He will go further. The problem with Putin is that if he doesn't understand and feel the pain, it's crucial. This war must be painful and costly for him. He must feel it, and his people too. He must understand why he shouldn't start another wave of war, as it will be very painful if they take such steps again, God forbid. If we sit at the negotiating table today and give territories to Putin, he will just rub his hands and say, okay, give us a year or two to prepare. He'll think a couple years is all he needs before coming with a new wave. He will definitely come for Europe. Look, he wants to go down in history as someone who takes land, who has a state that no one can defeat. This is his sick desire. It's a fact. So today we constantly emphasize you can't just give in to Putin. We need security guarantees. Yes, you can't just recognize occupied territories. Legally, you can't recognize them, or else he'll move on to other states and you'll see it. God forbid, but you'll see it. That's exactly what he wants. His goal is to completely influence the European continent.
Thank you, President Zelensky. And there you have it, guys. That being stated on Italian TV. I wish it was out there for the rest of the world to see. It is now via my channel on YouTube here and in English. And we have that. Guys, Zelensky telling us directly, you can't quit. You can't give away territory. He can't just go and recognize that Lugansk and Donetsk and Zaporizhia and Kherson are now Russian territories. This can't happen. You can't even have a freeze because he'll just go back to the drawing table, warm his hands up, and he'll come back again. He wants Europe. As I have said many times, and I've been working in these cultures for 30 years, Putin is a dictator. He is a person that is not worried about a re-election in 4 years or 6 years. He is here to stay, and all he is working on is his legacy. And Zelensky sharing with us that for his legacy, all he wants is conquest. Let's move to the next question for President Zelensky. President Zelensky, with what you just stated there, do you want peace? And if so, how does it come?
Peace is crucial for us. We want it most, as we've lost the most, especially lives. But before any agreement, we need serious security guarantees for Ukraine and Europe. It's vital for our protection and safety. Russia mustn't return with aggression like after Crimea's occupation in 2014 to 15. Back then, with Crimea and Donbass, many said, here's a ceasefire, a frozen conflict. Russia won't return, only diplomacy now. But Putin lied. He came back with a full-scale war, killing and killing. Thousands, tens of thousands of people. Today we need America, undoubtedly. It has a strong position in weapons, economy, and as a nuclear power. It's crucial for America to pressure Russia and with Europe give Ukraine security guarantees so Putin or his successors never attack Ukraine again. It's vital we're all properly informed about what's happening. Putin wants and has always wanted to completely destroy Ukraine. It's a fact, his dream to destroy and occupy us entirely. Don't believe other fairy tales. We need security guarantees for Ukraine that won't let him wage war again. Our dream this year is to get such guarantees and end the war.
And there you have it, where Zelensky says what many of us have been saying, don't believe the fairy tales. And he's just not throwing out rhetoric. He's showing historical precedent, talking about the invasion and the occupation and the takeover of Crimea, which is Ukraine, and then the beginnings in the pushes and the separatist activity in Donbass, and then freezing the conflict. Everything will be okay. The world thought everything was okay. And then 2022, here came the full-scale invasion. And now in 25, we see ourselves in a horrible, hellish war. Do not believe the fairy tales. Zelensky spot on right there with his opinions on Putin and what the future holds. But you can hear him say, we want peace, but peace will come with strength. Peace will come through security. Peace will not come with just words or some piece of paper. It comes through strength. Now, let's look at a couple of personal questions for President Zelensky. Zelensky, question for you, Mr. President. Are you tired?
Another personal question. You've become a symbol of Ukrainian resistance worldwide. Everyone knows you this way. How tiring is it? How exhausted is President Zelensky from this role today? I don't have the right, simply don't have the right. Well, I must do this. I must be worthy of my people, our people. We have no right to tire. We'll rest, certainly after this war ends, when there's lasting peace. A just peace is crucial for us. We'll meet then. And I'll tell you how tired I am.
And there you have it, guys. There's no time for rest. In the back of the picture there, you can see him sitting with wounded soldiers. Additionally, President Zelensky is constantly visiting the front lines, some of the most dangerous areas, supporting the troops, standing with them, leading by example, while also representing Ukraine globally, trying to raise help and support to battle against Russia. You'll hear more about that in a minute with the bonus video I've got at the end coming up for you. But one more question for President Zelensky, and this is a personal one. Remember, title of the video tonight is Your Opinion. So please, in the chat, even with a like or a comment, what's your opinion? Yes or no on how you're viewing Zelensky after seeing these answers. Here we go. Number 4. President Zelensky, what about your children? So did you send your children out of the country to Europe or to London or to the United States to stay safe from the war? Tell us about your children.
This is my happiness. How can I put it? It's probably one of the most important things that can happen, that can be positive in a person's life. And that's children. And my daughter, she's at university in Kyiv. She's studying. I can't say I called her a child, so please don't tell her that. She's already an adult, yes. And my son is 11, turning 12 soon. They're all in the capital, going through this war together with other children. When sirens go off during missile attacks, they go down to bomb shelters at their schools and universities. But that's the reality. Well, I'm very glad that honestly, I'm very glad they're in Ukraine. Firstly, it sets an example for others. And secondly, well, if there are no children, if they're not on the streets, not in homes, if we don't see children's eyes, then honestly, The question arises, who are we fighting for? We're fighting for their values and ours too, but above all for our children's future, and it's very important that they are in Ukraine.
Very important that they, his children in Ukraine, his daughter studying in the university, son 11 turning 12, playing in the streets. He says, we are setting the example with our family. And yes, his family is there, and you could see the smile on his face. He said, that is my place of happiness. Guys, that is President Zelensky, and those are 4 key questions that he has been asked on the Italian television. And I think now with this information getting out, these answers getting out in the English, it gives us some wonderful insight into the person of Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, as I'm closing out, I want to talk about and show a video from Robert Fico, you know, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, the member nation of NATO, the member state of the European Union. Obviously now, Robert Fico, the Prime Minister of Slovakia, definitely a puppet for Vladimir Putin. But guys, this is just beginning. And I want you to look at this Prime Minister, his language, his behavior. Compare it to what you just saw with the 4 questions that Zelensky was asked. Guys, Robert Fico.
I'm not here to blindly support President Zelensky. And I admit I'm fed up with him. He's touring Europe, begging and blackmailing others, asking for money. This has to stop. Think about our country, not just your narrow political interests. What do we do without gas? Do you think Germany will share gas if they're short? If they're running low, they won't send us anything. Nothing at all.
Well, there you have it, guys. Robert Fico. I'm fed up with Zelensky running around and begging from Europe. Your narrow-minded interest, he called it. No, sir, you just stated your narrow-minded interest by looking at yourself, looking at Slovakia only, looking at your interest only, even calling out Germany that they would be greedy and not willing to help. Are you a team player? I don't think so. I think you're on the team, the losing team of Vladimir Putin, and it is obvious to see where you stand. Guys, hopefully this gives you some insight tonight and you enjoyed this different type of video. Additionally, the news tonight, the front lines are raging. There are quite a few obelisks right now inside Ukraine that are under air alarm, and we shall see what happens from that. I can also tell you that now, Saturday evening, we are fully loaded, and very early in the morning, Zhenya and I will be heading south. So starting tomorrow, make sure you have the notifications on, videos from out and about, lives, aid drops, whatever, experiences that we have, you will be seeing it. Thank you for being here and allowing us to be your hands, your eyes, and your feet. Appreciate all of you. Remember, drop a like, subscribe, notification bell on, and leave a comment. What's your opinion on what you saw tonight, hearing from President Zelensky, and also from this obvious puppet of Vladimir Putin, Robert Fico? You guys be blessed and have a good night.